Hi, welcome to Ames Responds to COVID-19. This is a question and answer program where Ames area organizations are going to respond to COVID-19 questions. I'm Susan Guiasa, the Public Relations Officer for the City of Ames. We've had several questions that have come to us this week, and we have several guests available to respond to those questions. If you have a COVID-19 related question, please let us know. You can call us at 515-239-5670, or you can email us your question on our COVID-19 email account. That's covid19@cityofames.org. And we'll try to get to your question on our next show. So we have a variety of questions, and we have a great panel here to answer them. And our first question will go to Barb Wallen, with Human Services Specialist with Family Finance with the ISU Extension and Outreach. Barb, thank you for coming today and welcome to the show. Here's the question. For families struggling financially because of the COVID-19 pandemic, what resources are available and how can ISU Extension and Outreach help?
Hi, ISU Extension and Outreach is, of course, as many of you know, an educational organization. Our job is to provide information. So unfortunately, we don't have money to give to people who are in a financial crisis, but information can go a long way. The biggest new thing that we are doing in response to the COVID outbreak is providing one-on-one financial consultations for people statewide who are experiencing a financial challenge, whether it's a reduction in income or a change in their expenses that's throwing their normal financial routines off base. We can meet with people, and I am the person who serves the Story County. So those of you watching in Ames, I would be your contact. But across the state, if other people across the state are watching this too, this is available statewide. We can meet with you by phone or email, which isn't as great, but we can answer questions over email, or have a video chat, and we can share resources with you that would be useful to you, and we can email them to you, or we can put them in the mail to you as well. So if you are having, say you're eligible for unemployment, but you haven't received it yet, and you're figuring out how to struggle in the meantime, or if you're wanting to plan for the best use of that relief payment in light of the various demands that you have on your finances, or if a little time goes by and you built up some credit card debt, or you've depleted your savings and you need some help getting that back into a good spot, we would welcome you to contact us. If you're in Story County or most of the surrounding counties, you can contact me, and my email is bwollan, BWOLLAN, @iastate.edu. In addition, statewide, you can contact the Iowa Concern Hotline, and they will refer you to us. And the Iowa Concern Hotline number is 800-447-1985. So those are a couple ways to contact us. And we also have a website showing all of our people statewide, and I will get that information as well. A couple things we won't do. First of all, we don't have any magic wands. Secondly, we won't take over for you. If you need someone like a credit counselor to negotiate payments with your creditors, or in some way take over, we will try to refer you elsewhere, and you might do well to contact a credit counseling agency. The other thing we won't do, and I think you'll find this reassuring, is we won't tell you what to do. You're the only one who can make your decisions, but we can help you make sure you're making those decisions on the best possible information, and consider a whole range of alternatives and not just go down the first path that comes to mind. In many cases, having someone else to talk things over with is a real helpful thing in sorting through a situation and helping you figure out your options and keep all the options straight. So
we're at a time right now where a lot of people may be experiencing financial difficulties that they never have before. So to have this opportunity for information just as you summarized, is really helpful, Barb. Thanks for that really helpful information.
Thank you.
And we'll put that information back on the screen. So if people want to contact ISU Extension, they're able to do so. You know, our next question is also about resource gathering. It refers to the Ames Public Library. And the question is, I know that the Ames Public Library is closed, but how is library staff still out doing outreach to patrons? And for that, I'll kick it over to Sheila Schofer, our Ames Public Library Director.
Thanks, Susan. Well, while the library's been physically closed, we've really ramped up our virtual services. So staff members have been amazingly creative and adaptable as we've moved as much as possible online. So the library's offered ebooks for years, and we've added more electronic formats over time. So people knew about our ebooks, our downloadable audio, our streaming video. But during our closure, we've worked hard to really increase access to those, including having a virtual library card that you can, as soon as you sign up, you're ready and you have access. And we worked with some of our vendors there. So some of them have increased or opened up the limit. So you don't have a limit on how many movies you can watch. And certain ones like Ancestry Library Edition, that's a great genealogy resource, or the New York Times, they've really opened up their access too. So we tried to really kind of promote that or expand our offerings. But one of the biggest challenges has been moving some of those important, more personal interactions online. So staff who are used to doing story time for young children and the families who love to attend, you know, we're doing that virtually. So we have a Facebook Live virtual story time, but those are recorded and you can go back and watch those. And they are amazing. I think it's hard to do that, do that without an audience, but the staff are natural, so they really had some fun interactive ones. And our adult services folks are in the mix too. So they've been doing lots of book recommendations. We'll pick a theme. So we had like a humor theme or a mystery theme, and we recommended books for children, for young adults, or teens and adults. We're working with KHOI, the community radio, to do our reading radio hour, and that's a full hour Wednesdays at noon on KHOI. And again, that's children's content, and then some adult book recommendations and things. And our one librarian, she is a natural radio person, and so that goes out over really well.
Well, Sheila, I have to say I've really enjoyed seeing all the talent of the library staff. I don't see very often, and watching how they get creative about doing their jobs in these unusual times.
Yeah, we've done these ones called weekly challenges. So there's a component where you'll read something, you'll watch something, and then you'll create something. So we're calling it our Stay Inside and Thrive. So this week's, for example, there was read a magazine, watch a movie from the American Film Institute's top 100 movies, and then the create portion was prompting you to write down or collect a family story, and then maybe use our Ancestry or some of our other genealogy resources to kind of, expand on that a little bit. But you can go back and do the others, and we encourage you to, interact with us on social media too, like and share our stuff, because it really, kind of those who are creating the content, it really keeps them going and knows that we're reaching our audience, because we miss everybody and want that.
Well, that brings me right to the follow-up question. At some point, when it's safe, how do you anticipate, or how do you envision maybe the library opening back up?
So we've been trying our best to stay connected, as I was mentioning, and we have done some things now to get some physical materials in the hands of our public. So we've been doing with the support of our Ames Public Library Friends Foundation, in conjunction with the schools, we've been giving out books as part of the grab and go lunches, and we've been filling little free libraries. So there's just some little efforts, because we know people are hungry for getting new materials. But next up, we're kind of gauging, we're working with the city of Ames and following the guidance of, healthcare officials, to kind of see when we could slowly ramp up services in a safe and responsible way. Probably coming soon, we're going to be doing things like turning our holds back on and having returns come back in so that those books are moving back. And then we're going to be exploring our curbside pickup. So we were kind of gauging that, wanted to do that in a safe and sustainable way. Didn't want to get it too far and then have to pull back. But we think like we can move forward on it. So we're going to be, so check out our website, www.amespubliclibrary.org, and we'll have our updates there. But we anticipate in mid-May that we'll do some hold pickups. We'll probably schedule those to kind of just keep the flow going. And we're entertaining some ideas of some grab and go bags where maybe you haven't placed a hold, but you want like a binge watchers bag that maybe has some TV and DVDs, or, maybe a cookbook grab bag or something like that, to kind of like, if you're not sure and you miss browsing, but you want to kind of fun grab bags. So we're looking into that too. So we hope to roll that out in mid-May. And then we're kind of watching it. We're certainly setting up plans for what the space, we might have to do some things to our space. So to like spread out our computers, or maybe remove some chairs, maybe have some, cues or decals to help you know how to safely social distance and to ensure that the space when we do reopen is as safe as it can be for our staff.
Well, it sounds like you have a very cautious but safe approach, a sensible approach to reopening, and clearly you've been thinking about it. So that's good to hear. It's nice to hear that facilities are sort of thinking of a game plan for when they reopen. Thanks, Sheila. Well, as many people know, we have an election coming up, and Lucy Martin, our Story County auditor, is with us, which is great because our next question regarding voting in the primary, what are my options if I want to vote in the primary on June 2nd?
What we are urging everyone to do, if possible, is to vote by mail. This has always been possible for any election in Iowa for many, many decades, I think, at this point. It's no-fault absentee voting, which means you don't have to provide an excuse to ask for an absentee ballot. So if you are an active registrant, you probably received something that looks like this in the mail yesterday, today, tomorrow. This is a mailing from the Iowa Secretary of State. And inside it contains a request form. Now, this request form is what you would fill out for any ballot cast prior to election day. So if you do it by mail, we'll have voting in the auditor's office. It will be limited, and we are hoping to keep that down to just the people that absolutely need to come into our office and do that. But what I like about this form that Secretary Paul Pate sent out is that it highlights what you have to fill in, which is your name and date of birth, your ID number, which if you have an Iowa driver's license or Iowa ID, that is the number that you're registered with. If you don't have one of those, then you are sent a PIN card, and we can send you a new PIN card if you can't find that. If the voter calls, we can also give you your PIN, but it has to be the voter. Where your ballot should be mailed if it's different from your registration address. And then this is really important for a primary election only, you have to choose a party. So if that matches the party that you're currently registered with, then there's no change to your record. If you are a no party right now, or you switch parties, then you will also get an updated voter registration information card showing that we changed your party. Because we do have two different ballot styles for primary election, the Democratic ballot and the Republican ballot. And we don't know which ballot to send you unless you tell us. And then also you need to sign this and you need to date it. Now, if you're helping someone fill out this form, you can fill out everything for the person, but they do need to sign it themselves. If they have mobility issues, they can make a mark. Or some people have a stamp, they can use that. It says in really tiny fine print, so some people don't see that power of attorney is not in effect for elections. You can't, as a power of attorney, you have no right to request a ballot for somebody or cast a ballot for somebody. And there is that language on here, but people don't read forms very often. So if you don't want to use this form, we also have the same form. It's a state of Iowa form on our website. It's a fold and go form. You do have to have access to a printer, which is an issue for some people right now. But they're both postage paid, so no cost to the voter. And this one, people have said, well, I don't want to send it back because my information is shown here. So it comes like this to you. This is mine. if you just want to fill it out and then fold it back so that the auditor's office address is there, and then just tape it shut. So it does, on the form it says to detach it, but if you just keep it like it is and then just refold it, that's perfectly fine. It does have my office's address on here, which is 900 6th Street in Nevada. And our phone number is 515-382-7210. And then our web address is www.storycountyiowa.gov, and then /elections to get to our page.
Lucy, are there some dates that people should have in mind as we get?
Always, yes. So the last day to request a mailed absentee ballot is Friday, May 22nd. And that form has to be here in my office, not dates, not postmark that date, but here in the office. So after that time, we cannot mail a ballot to you. You would have to come in and vote here in the office. We do have, starting Monday, May 4th, we will have voting here in the administration building down in our lobby. The building will not be open. The access will be limited to the lobby only and only for voting. So, and that will be 11 to 3 every day. The last day to come in here and vote is June 1st. And then we are also statutorily open on Saturday, May 30th for voting. So, we are really trying to
A really
limit.
easy thing to remember would be to get your request in to you by May 25th.
Right. And then some people got this mailing and they've already requested a ballot. That doesn't mean they have to send this in. What happens is they pulled the list of every active voter in the state of Iowa that was not cross-checked against people that had already requested a ballot. So just we started mailing ballots last Thursday. So if you already have a ballot, then you don't need to fill this out. If you fill this out and send it in to us, we don't penalize you. We get multiples all the time, so we just staple those together.
Very good to know. Thanks for that information.
You're welcome.
It'll be an interesting experiment to see how this system works out for the primary.
Yes, every election is an interesting experiment. This one might be the most interesting so far.
Great, thank you.
You're welcome.
Our final question from our questions that came in last week, I will go to Ron Edwards with Ames Animal Shelter and Ames Animal Control. Ron, this is definitely right up your alley. How has the Ames Shelter responded to animal needs during COVID-19, and how has it changed the way that the shelter is providing service?
Sure. Well, fortunately, prior to COVID-19, we had already had an online adoption application system, as well as every single one of our pets are listed online. So you can see a picture of them, details that we know about them if they were surrendered to us by their owners, any information that we have, or short little bios that we have about them that might kind of help pique your interest if you're looking to adopt a pet to add to your family. So we already had that in place. So it's been very nice to see that it's working very well. Since we've closed the shelter on March 16th, we've now had 30 adoptions from someone that's seen a pet online and completed one of our adoption applications. That application was approved by our adoption coordinator. And then we scheduled a time for the person or family to come down here to meet with that particular pet and determine that it was going to be a good match, and then sent that furry friend off to its hopefully forever home. So it's worked out really well for us. The only change really significantly here is it's not allowing people to come through the shelter to visit the animals, kind of browse and check out the animals. And we know a lot of people miss that, and it's unfortunate with what's going on, but we do have to think about the safety of the people that are here, the staff members that we have here. We have a very small team, so it's critical that we are all healthy and able to take care of these guys because they depend on us to care for them. And if we're not here to feed and care for them, who's going to do that? So that was our biggest thought when we determined that we're going to be closing the doors and kind of move to an online presence, or at least more of an online presence. And it's worked really well so far. So we're very happy to report that.
So just a follow-up question, and I have to admit, I have the same question in my mind. How do you think the pandemic is affecting our pets?
Well, you know, there's more and more people that are working from home now, and hopefully they're working from home and didn't lose their employment. So our well wishes are with all those people. But I'll tell you, you know, my dog, he gets to come to work with me every day, so he hasn't noticed anything different. But, so if you have dogs at home, you're spending more time with them. That is just amazing. You have just made their world. Every single day, you get to spend more and more time with them. So that's great for them. Cats, on the other hand, probably don't care that you're home that much. They're happy to go off and sleep wherever they would sleep if you were not there. But, just to be able to be at home, and being there with pets helps to reduce stress and everything. So it's really important to give them all the love that you can. They're going to give that back to you and help you through these difficult times that we're in right now.
Well, thanks, Ron. I've noticed that my pet seems a bit happier these days.
Absolutely.
And it is mutual. It does help me as well. So
good.
Well, thank you to our panel of experts, Barb Wallen from Iowa State University Extension, Sheila Schofer with Ames Public Library, Lucy Martin, Story County Auditor, and Ron Edwards with Ames Animal Shelter and Animal Control. Thank you for answering those questions. Is there a question that you're curious about? Let us know. We can feature your question on our next show. Call us with your questions. Again, that number 515-239-5670. Or email us at COVID-19@cityofames.org. Finally, please remember that we are living in rapidly changing times, and the information provided today is the most accurate we have today. Please continue to check with reliable sources to get your information. The City of Ames has COVID-19 related information on our website at cityofames.org/COVID-19 with no hyphen. That's our show, Ames Responds to COVID-19. Thank you so much for watching.